Alright, so I'm going to curse you with the knowledge I now have in my brain from reading Kissing the Coronavirus. Dr. Alexa Ashingford stared at the test tube between her fingers, her perfectly pink manicured nails clashing with the pale, bubbling liquid inside. She recognized the power she had in her grip, the virus which had claimed so many lives and which made her heart beat furiously, like a wild tiger thrashing in its cage. The coronavirus. Despite the devastation that the virus was causing across the globe, Alexa felt a rush of excitement every time she picked up the corona sample, like a pulsating, erect penis. Desperate to unleash its devastation on anyone who touched it. It had been so long since Alexa had been with a man that the virus was the only thing she could get near to which gave her any sort of thrill. The tickle in her knickers when she worked with the sample was the only sexual release she had experienced since the virus had unleashed hell and taken its hold on the world. And now she held it in her hand, gripped it tight. She bit her lip. Imagine what she could do with it. She rubbed her hand over her breast, her nipple hardening like a tic-tac. Imagine how she would feel if she touched herself with it. Pretty great, Alexa thought. Pretty great indeedly. Alexa lowered the test tube and unbuttoned the bottom two poppers on her lab coat. Pop, pop. She took the test tube and shook it. The bubbling, creamy liquid sloshed against the inside of the tube. It fizzed up, and Alexa swore she could feel the glass expanding, swelling up and down as she shook the tube. A shock of electricity coursed through her veins, eventually stopping as it reached her vagina. It was like she sat on a battery. Everything tingled and it felt good. But Alexa knew it could be better. Much better. Alexa pulled down her lab pants and pulled her panties to the side. Her pussy so wet that lace glided across her skin like a fat man on a water slide. She lowered the test tube. As the COVID-19 sample got closer to her, she felt the rush, an intense burst from within, like an entire firework display going off at once. She twisted the tube in her grip, ready to push it inside. She'd done this with so many men who didn't know how to control their own flailing cocks, like they had minds of their own and required guidance. Alexa tightened her grip on the tube. She imagined it had veins pumping blood to keep it hard for her. She thought about the power. She touched the test tube to her wet lips. Dr. Ashingford, would you mind cataloging these test samples? Crap. Alexa hadn't realized that her boss, Dr. Gertley Chund, had walked back into the lab. Thankfully, her back had been to the door, or else Dr. Gertley Chund would have seen everything. That kind of gave Alexa a little rush, too.